Welcome to Global Arakan Network, weekly update news from July 19th to 25. Among the interesting news stories of this week, we will be presenting reports, including the news, Ayeyarwady region, holders of 11 Rakhine ID cards, targeted for arrest and forcibly sent for military training. Myanmar junta conducted coordinated airstrikes against 3 towns in Arakan in one day. Arakan Army. The news about the Arakan Army says it will respond to the junta in collaboration with partner organizations. The news where 5 local men shot at and abducted by radical armed group ARSA in Maungdaw, 1 abducted, 4 escaped, and the news about over 70 arrested in Kyauktaw anti-drug crackdown by DLEPs, along with other interesting news items. It is reported that in Irrawaddy region, the military junta, police forces, and their affiliated militias have been conducting stricter searches and arrests this month, targeting Rakhine nationals holding 11 Douala citizenship verification cards who have arrived from Rakhine state, as well as Rakhine war refugees who have been sheltering there previously. Some of those arrested are being forcibly sent for military service. On July 14th, the junta army arrested 6 Rakhine individuals who were taking shelter as war refugees in Pin Quin and Aung San Quin villages in Lamyethna township. It is also known that some Rakhine youths were arrested in the Shwethongyan area during the first week of July. Earlier, on June 19th, about 10 Rakhine locals in the Kungi village tract of Lamyethna township were arrested on suspicion of having links with the Arakan Army, AA. Additionally, over 20 Rakhine war refugees were arrested in Yeki Township. Those newly arriving in Irrawaddy region from Rakhine State are being ambushed and arrested by plainclothes personnel at junctions and checkpoints. Long-standing war refugees are also being continuously arrested under pretexts related to guest lists and reporting requirements. Furthermore, some war refugees from Gwa and Thondwe townships are also reported to be under arrest in Lamyethna township. Even returnees who had visited their families in their home townships are being arrested for allegedly failing to inform the administrative bodies in time. The junta army, police, and militias are conducting ambushes and cordon and search operations in villages along jungle routes crossing the Rakhine-Roma Range, the Ngawan River, and creek areas. They are continuing to arrest war refugees, arriving via motorboat and jungle trails towards Ngathangchang, Yegi, Thabang, Pathin, Changtha, and Shwethongyan. Although arrests of war refugees coming from Arakan state to Irrawaddy region occur frequently, the number of those prosecuted is low, and families are reportedly unable to know the subsequent status of most of those arrested. Currently, while fighting intensifies in Yeki, Lamyethna, and Tharbong townships, it is reported that not only Rakhine war refugees, but also some local residents are being arrested and forcibly sent for military service. Additionally, in some townships within Irrawaddy region, there are difficulties for Rakhine people to register on guest lists. Those living without guest list registration and holders of 11 Rakhine identity cards are reportedly being subjected to special checks at checkpoints and continue to be arrested. On July 19, 2026, the Fascist Terrorist Military Commission launched consecutive aerial bombing attacks on 3 towns in Arakan state, Ma'i, Thandwe, and Panagyun, targeting areas where innocent civilians reside, according to a statement from the Arakan Army. Attacks on Ma'i town. At approximately 11:30 a.m. today, a jet fighter dropped three 300-pound bombs on Ward 2 and Ward 3 of Ma-E Town in Tongup Township. The airstrike killed 5 innocent civilians and injured 22 others, including 1 monk and several children. 1 Christian church and 20 civilian homes were destroyed in the attack. Attacks on Thandwe Town between 4:06 p.m. and 4:24 p.m. The junta conducted 5 airstrikes on Thandwe Town over a period of nearly 30 minutes using jet fighters, accompanied by machine gun fire from the aircraft. 4 civilians were injured, and several residential buildings were destroyed. Attacks on Panagyun Town. At approximately 6:30 p.m., a jet fighter dropped 2 300-pound bombs near Tongpak Monastery in Panagyun Township. 2 monks and 1 civilian were injured in the strike. Civilian casualties. In total, the single-day aerial assault on 3 towns in Arakan resulted in the deaths of 5 innocent civilians and injuries to 26 civilians, including 3 monks. The Arakan army questioned the credibility of the junta's recent peace overtures, noting that such actions raise serious doubts about the alignment between their statements and actions during ongoing peace negotiations. ULA.AA stated that it will respond to every offensive launched by the Fascist Terrorist Military Commission in coordination with the people of Arakan, as well as partner organizations, respected individuals, and neighboring allies. The Arakan Army, AA, announced on July 19th that it will respond, in collaboration with partner organizations, to the fascist military junta's airstrikes and attacks on villages in Arakan, Rakhine State. The junta is reportedly carrying out these attacks with the primary aim of committing genocide against the Arakanese people. This announcement was made by the AA following the commemoration of Myanmar's 79th Martyrs' Day. On that day, the junta chief, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, gave a speech about national unity and cohesion. Shortly after, the junta launched inhumane airstrikes on civilian villages in 3 townships of Arakan, Tonggoke, Thandwe, and Panagyun. The AA's statement reads, "The United League of Arakan Army, ULAAA, will respond to every offensive by the fascist military junta, not only alongside the entire Arakanese people, but also together with organizations, individuals, and partner organizations that we trust, respect, and rely upon, including those along the borders." The statement also mentioned that the junta's calls for peace and talks within the last 100 days are now a matter of ridicule. The AA's statement detailed the attacks on July 19th alone. It said the junta carried out successive airstrikes on civilian-populated areas in 3 townships of Arakan. At approximately 11:30 a.m., a jet fighter from the junta dropped 3 300-pound bombs on Ward 2 and Ward 3 of Ma-E Town in Tonggoke Township. The attacks resulted in the deaths of 5 civilians, injuries to 22 others, including a monk and children, and damage to 1 church and 20 civilian homes. Following that, between 4:06 p.m. and 4:24 p.m., the junta conducted 5 airstrikes using jet fighters on Thandwe Town, injuring 4 civilians and damaging some homes. Later, at around 6:30 p.m., a single jet fighter dropped 2 300-pound bombs near a monastery in the Tongpak area of Panagyun Township. This attack injured 2 monks and 1 civilian. The announcement concluded that the junta's airstrikes on the 3 towns in Arakan State on July 19th were carried out with the intent of committing genocide. In just 1 day, these attacks resulted in the deaths of 5 innocent civilians and injuries to 3 monks and 26 other civilians. It has been reported that 4 Chakma men and 1 Chakman were ambushed and shot at by members of ARSA, an Islamic extremist militant group conducting terrorist activities in Maungdaw, Arakan, on July 17th. Among the 5 targeted locals, 1 Chakma man sustained bullet wounds and was abducted, while the remaining 4 managed to escape. The man shot and abducted by the ARSA militant group was identified as Uhtan Maung, 41, from Ong Tha Piai village, Maungdaw Township. Those who escaped are U Thir Noi Ong, 54, Obakayar, 50, Ko John Go, 20, and Ko Robi Ong, 18, all from the same village. The incident occurred at around 10:30 a.m. on July 17th, as the 5 men were traveling from Ong Tha Piai village to Bao Dular market to transport goods. En route, 3 members of the Islamic extremist militant group ARSA ambushed them with firearms. During the attack, Utun Maung was hit by gunfire, fell to the ground, and was subsequently taken by ARSA members, while the other 4 men managed to flee to safety. It is reported that the ARSA group has since contacted Utun Maung's family by phone, demanding a ransom of 5 million taka, 50 lakhs taka, for his release. In northern Maungdaw Township, along the Arakan border, Islamic extremist militant groups such as ARSA, ARA, RSO, and RIM continue to disrupt local stability through terrorist acts including kidnapping, killing, ambushing, and landmine attacks targeting local residents. In response, the Arakan army has deployed additional security forces to conduct clearance operations in areas where these groups operate. A total of 78 individuals, including 7 members of the Araka Army, AA, and 13 young students were arrested and detained between July 2nd and July 17th by the DLAPs under the Araka People's Government in Kyauktaw Township for drug abuse and trafficking. Among the detained personnel, 1 ULA AA member was arrested for drug trafficking, while 6 others were detained for drug abuse. Additionally, most of the youth detained are between 15 and 20 years old, attending grades 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. They were taken into custody for drug use and are currently receiving rehabilitation and guidance at a local youth rehabilitation center. Authorities also arrested 24 individuals for selling methamphetamine pills and are currently interrogating them. Further investigations are underway to uncover connected networks involved in drug sales and consumption. The student youths involved were investigated and detained by the DLEPS department following reports of drug use, and the students themselves have confessed to using drugs. Currently, the detained students are being held under good conditions by the DLEPS. Officials confirmed that healthcare services are being provided to them, alongside counseling sessions explaining the harmful effects of drug abuse and its long-term health consequences. Furthermore, officials and parents of the students will hold a joint meeting to address and clarify false rumors circulating on social media regarding these detentions. During the operations, authorities seized methamphetamine pills bearing the WY logo, valued at approximately 800 million MMK, along with 1,976,000 MMK in cash from the arrested drug dealers. In territories controlled by the Arakan Army, the Araka government, through its DLEPS department, is executing law enforcement and drug eradication initiatives. Investigations and subsequent arrests were carried out after receiving intelligence regarding drug use among certain student youths in Kyauktaw Township.